me close my door. Hold on.
Being weird. And not yet. Can do.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you're live on the internet.
I'm live on the internet. Oh, look at all our fans. Just kidding. Well, because we're live in general, so like even if we were to just straight post this, there would be no edits on it, huh?
Yeah, no, it'll still stay up on YouTube. So whatever we do.
Whatever we do or whatever we say.
Yeah.
Here, black out my camera real quick then.
Black?
Yeah.
Like that?
I don't know. I can't tell. Look at it.
Hold on, you gotta wait.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, leave it like that for a second. I swear if you switch it, you send me to jail.
Everyone can hear you though.
Oh, that's okay. They just hear a chainsaw going in the background.
The data rate is dropping again.
Frame rate?
No, the data rate. For streaming, it's at 0.15.
What is it supposed to be at?
What's that? Streaming current bitrate is 146 kilobytes per second.
Oh, geez.
Recommended is 6,800.
Oh, wow.
So 6.8 megabytes per second. But it's at 0.15 megabytes per
If I hit share on this video for the SB Studios Clips live stream, will it share this exact stream right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, let's get started.
All right, I'll bring you in.
This is our practice for live streaming and doing our own stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Joe Rogan do his first ever live stream?
I didn't know.
So they're sitting, him and his buddy, they're sitting in a, I think he's right here, and then his friend has a chair right next to him, and I think they're sharing a mic.
Yeah.
And they're literally just looking at each other, talking. It's so pixelated, you can't even see their faces. You can just make out that it's Joe Rogan.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't think they were talking about anything. I don't think they were talking about sports.
Yeah.
They were just bantering with each other, but it's still up. So if you go to his page and you pull up his first ever video, you can see him on there, and he just looks like a freaking jabroni. Like, it's just the funniest thing ever because he's just the world's biggest streamer and podcaster now, dude.
Yeah. He is. I didn't know he did live on his...
He used to, I guess. He that's what he used to do, and so he had a chat on there. So he would do his live videos, and I think this was before he got to UFC because you remember he used to be a UFC announcer, right?
Yep.
And this is when before Fear Factor as well.
Oh, okay.
Which I did not know Joe Rogan was the host of Fear Factor until I knew Joe Rogan's podcast.
Really?
Yes, I never put two and two together.
Yeah.
I watched it growing up my whole life, and then one day everyone's like, Joe Rogan this, Joe Rogan that, and I was like, who the hell is it? And I find out, I was like, there's no way. No way. And yeah, I've been watching that fool since I was like 10.
Yeah. No, I remember him on...
I love Fear Factor, dude. It was my favorite show.
I don't know if I was too young for that show. But I remember I remember him on UFC all the time. Because he was huge in that. And then I feel like I'm trying to think of like when I first heard of, honestly, just a podcast in general. Like, I'm trying to think.
When you first heard of podcasts?
Yeah. Like, in general, like, I can't.
That's a good one.
Like, the term, like, it's always been a thing for the last, I don't know, I've known about it for the last 4 years, but I'm trying to think of, like, the first ever one. Honestly, probably, man, maybe, like, Spittin' Chicklets.
That was the first podcast you listened to?
Yeah, probably, like.
No way.
No. Honestly, the first, well, Spittin' Chicklets has been out for, I want to say 6 years now.
6 years, yeah.
They
Well, I mean, all those guys have been around forever. Like, I remember when Snapchat came out,
Mhm.
and I remember when Snapchat stories started to become a thing, and then when Barstool was like one of the first people to be on Snapchat, and Caleb Presley had his own little Snapchat show thing,
Oh.
and they had Snapchat used to be only for sharing photos through messages, I remember, and they would disappear immediately.
Yeah.
Just like they do kind of right now. And then the messaging feature came out, and then like the posting of the stories came out, and there was another app around during when that launched called Marco Polo. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
I do remember that. Yeah.
And Marco Polo is like the short form video version of Snapchat. Snapchat was just meant for photos originally.
Yeah.
And then they did video, added all those features in, and then it was around high school when they released Snapchat stories, and they started to let people make like the shows and stuff like that. But I used to think Caleb Presley was like the brains behind Barstool, dude, because of how present
Yeah.
he was in the media.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I knew about Barstool was Caleb Presley. And just watching those weird videos and all the things that he did, and then one day he just disappears, but their department kept growing, he kept growing, and you see Barstool stuff everywhere, and now he just does Sunday conversations and a
Yeah.
couple other things. But it's almost, I don't want to say it seems like his role has gotten smaller, but he's just, Barstool's so big now, it
Yeah.
makes him look small.
Yeah. Well, he probably was like head of Snapchat, or like was the face of the Snapchat content, and then
Right.
I mean I haven't really seen that. That probably got oversaturated too with all this stuff.
It did, but they're still on there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still one of their avenues of getting exposure. I mean, people today sleep on Snapchat so much, and I do too. But there's like launching and promoting podcasts on Snapchat is actually very possible and very plausible, and a lot of people should be doing it, and we don't even do it.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't know how to use Snapchat that way.
Yeah.
But there's a guy, Caleb Hammer. He does a podcast called Financial Audit, and I'm pretty sure the dude has like 64,000 subscribers on Snapchat. And I started growing my Snapchat following. I have like 530. I have nothing.
Yeah.
But on my analytics, if I were to pull it up and show you, there's over 5,000 to 10,000 people watching my snaps out of nowhere, dude. I don't know how,
Damn.
and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it shows the average watch duration, how many hours people are watching. And I think the last time I looked, I was like around 16 hours of people watching my stuff.
Jeez.
And it's just stuff around the studio, stuff that I'm doing right now. And if that guy has 64,000 subscribers for his podcast show on Snapchat, he's probably getting a couple 100,000 user downloads across the board everywhere else. You know what I mean?
No, totally.
So it's just interesting because it seems pretty oversaturated, but I don't know. I mean, Instagram's been around longer than them, and we're not saying that's everyone's still on it.
Yeah. Instagram, yeah. No, that's a good point. Because Instagram's definitely oversaturated, but you still have people making content on there and can have success nowadays. Like, it's not like they had to start back when, Reels first started coming up or anything like that. Like, there's still a chance for people to keep growing on there.
Well, and nobody talks about what do you call it, Snapchat anymore. Everyone's talking about Instagram and TikTok, so it seems like they're dying and they're irrelevant, but I'm pretty sure I think it's one of the hidden gems for the content creator world, because I myself have seen the results and like the numbers that come from it just from interacting it on a very personal level. So I can't imagine that the people that are doing it for consumer or for business level are they're probably reaping rewards and just not telling people, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, because like I've seen,
it's like TikTok when people were blowing up on there. No one was trying to really share how much money they were really making, but they knew they were.
That's true.
And then they found out.
Let's see, my public profile, spotlight, insights.
And like, I'll even pull up my Snap thing real quick.
Snap.
So for anybody that's listening later or right now, it's live, or I don't think there's anyone live, but for later, I'm pulling up my Snapchat to look at some analytics and talk about it with Sean. And it's just interesting because there's a lot of ways to grow and be on social media, and some are just well known and more talked about than others, frankly. I think is what it comes down to. And then if we can figure that out, share those strategies, then I feel like other people can grow and we can too.
Mm-hmm.
But
let's see. Trying to see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, some of my spotlight stuff, like I would put this on the map thing. Like, you know how you can add this to the public viewing in, like I have some from when I went to Nashville or even downtown Boise too. They have over 1,000 plays.
right.
And they're only up for a day.
1,000 plays up for a day.
Yeah, I think it's only 20. Oh no, I think those stay up for a little bit longer.
So let me look at mine real quick. 1 second. Like, I mean, and this is very, again, I mean, at a non-influencer level, for somebody that just posts anywhere between 3 to 10 posts a day, this number still gets me. On my insights that I'm looking at for Snapchat, like you're not gonna be able to see it on the video, but I'm gonna show you guys that I'm like scrolling through it, so I'm not just making numbers up. But in the last 3 days, because it's the only time I posted, there's 3,410 snap views, and I have 528 subscribers. I believe is what I have in total. In the last 7 days, compared to when I was posting, and I wasn't posting a lot previously, I'm at 2,496 snap views for that week, which is a 682% increase just over the week previously. So I point that out because, like, with Instagram and Facebook, I swear, you don't post for like 2-3 days, dude, you're punished.
Yeah.
You don't get views, you don't get listens, you don't get anything. On Snapchat, I don't post for a day, like a whole 2-3 weeks straight, and then I post 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and I'm already back up 3,000, 4,000 views.
Damn.
So there's no like algorithmic punishment for not engaging, is what it feels like, honestly.
Yeah.
And my views shot up to 102 for the last 7 days, compared to like some of my Instagram reels that get anywhere between like 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Total view time 2 hours, which is a 400% increase over the last 7 days. And then when you look at the grid of the actual stories, it's a numbers game. The one that had 27 posts has over 1,300, close to 1,300 views.
Damn.
The one that has 59 posts, has over 1,329 views. And one that has 17 has 1,000. But all the other ones that were like at 2, 1 has 65, has 117. And I can go weeks without posting on Snapchat, and I'll still get the same amount of exposure and views immediately right after.
Yeah.
Rather than like Facebook and Instagram, when you do that, and I'm sure you can vouch for this, you literally don't get the same amount of views. It's like you get in trouble for not posting.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, you almost get like, it's kind of like a jail in a sense for them, like the way they do it. But yeah, the algorithms are just so weird and complex, and like, you know, people, you can try to understand them the best that you can, but the only way I know the best advice is making sure that it's good content. At the end of the day, if your video didn't do well and you're like blaming on the algorithm, my only advice would be that your shit sucks.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about that a lot too, and a lot of people don't understand that still.
It's not that, you know, I kind of said that kind of mean saying your shit sucks, but like, it's just not good enough. And part of it, when you're posting, and especially in the early stages, is you're trying to figure out what is good and what's not good. Like, you know, and part of it does depend on who gets in front of it and who's looking at it, you know.
Yeah.
Based on, there's a lot of different factors. It's, you know, you may think it's good, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't getting out there, it didn't hit the right people.
Yeah.
So I think that's the struggle part with, you know, trying to find the algorithm, figure it out. It's like, get the people that make sense.
Well, why don't you tell me, or I guess let's talk a little bit about how your channel's been doing, how your channel's been doing on YouTube recently with subscriber growth and views, and kind of give me some background on where you were before you met me and started working with me at the studio.
Yeah. Oh boy. So, I mean, go back about a year or so ago, almost to the T a year ago. Me and four other friends were recording these podcasts through OBS in a apartment room, living room, and we were using the USB mics and some webcams for video and stuff. And then I'd go home, edit the video, put it on Spotify, all that fun stuff. But then fast forward, we started moving things around, transformed into like 3 different shows or podcasts, and from there, that's when I started editing, trying to make clips, because the other ones I just could never make clips with them. They were just blurry, bad, zoomed out. Audio was doubling, echoing like crazy.
Like the episodes you were recording?
Yeah, like it would just, not even just echoing in the room, but echoing in the sense of everyone's mic picking up everyone.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, there's seriously, like, this is just getting frustrating. And then we switched using StreamYard, and then that kind of opened up a different realm of just, having quality, people are recording in their own rooms, and, the audio is not doubling or anything like that, and, getting good face shots. Oh, okay. Getting good camera angles of people's faces. And
you're like all back shots.
Yeah, it was all back. All like good, front facing. Anyways, I'm gonna move on from that. But then I started playing around with editing and just trying to figure it out, because I had no idea. I didn't have the most tech experience with editing softwares. I've done stuff on my phone with like iMovie. That was about the extent to it. Not using hotkeys and doing all this movement and stuff.
Right.
Which clips need. And anyways, I was getting, around that same, like, I guess, point of just 250 views on TikTok and Instagram. Sometimes, they go up.
You were getting stuck at just stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stagnant, nothing crazy. And then I feel like right before I started working here, I really started trying again, or at least trying to be consistent with it. And that is a big thing about it, is, being consistent. But then upon coming here and, learning all the other stuff, learning new software that helps cut down time tremendously, which is, like, time is a big factor for anything.
Yep.
If you spend 6 hours on a clip trying to make it, or less than that, if you spend 2 hours on a clip and you're just trying to find the clip or do something, it sucks, because then when you put it out there and it's got 200 views, you're like, well, shit. But part of that you just kind of have to get through. And, I think that I remember Mr. Beast had said, after your first 100 videos are going to suck, and live with it.
Yeah.
And, I don't even know if, actually we're at 200 videos right now, but we've made a lot of clips. Like, we're not at 200 episodes across all the shows. So
just 200 pieces of content posted.
Yeah. 200 pieces of content posted. And, I think it's gotten better since then.
Yeah.
And anyways, coming here, learning the software and stuff, obviously, cutting back on time is everything. If you can find a process that can, speed up what you normally do, instead of, I don't know, going like, what's it called? If you're going and looking for all the pieces of content throughout the video, it's an hour-long podcast, and you're trying to search for it on like a Premiere or DaVinci or whatever you use, Final Cut.
Mm-hmm.
That takes forever to, like, unless you're writing down timestamps for good clips. But then, the minute you don't do that, then you're screwed.
Then you're screwed. You have to go watch through it again. Yeah.
So then we find little softwares here and there that help us out, and it's changed the game. And also just getting practice here too, working on other people's clips, other podcasters' clips. The Boise Reen show, I feel like, helped a lot. We kind of got to a good schedule, just at least releasing them once every other day.
But if you could generalize more about what it is that you were struggling with before, and what it is that you just did differently that's brought you to where you are, what comes to mind? Like,
yeah,
obviously you don't have an exact answer, but would you say it was how often we got you to post? Would you say it was mine and your conversation about having you understand storytelling better and clip structuring? Was it about graphics, like hooks? Like, what do you feel like really kind of made you get different results as of now? Because you're not getting the results that you used to
Yeah.
previously. Like they're good now, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. I think it's the wins that you get too.
Mhm.
Like, it was. I think it's a lot of it because, like, yeah, the clip structure and like, what's a good formula for a clip that's worked for us, and we found one that did well, and we've stuck to it, and deviated from it a little bit here and there to test things out. But
Yeah.
once you find something that works, keep doing that, and people, and we saw success from it, and that's a big thing is getting especially subscriber count, like the minute you see that. And we started when I came here, I want to say we were at 70 subscribers,
Something like that.
and in the 5 months I've been here, we're at 290 now. And
But you didn't start really posting until like January.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So like
So-
a month after. So really the past 4 months.
January, February, March, April. Yep.
Yeah.
We're barely halfway through April.
Yeah. And we hit, like we were slowly it might have even been lower than, it might have been like 50 subscribers. Cause like we were just slowly chugging
Yeah.
here and there. And then once we started posting reels, or at least had reels and shorts that succeeded, that's when it kind of skyrocketed in terms of growth and stuff. And, we hit 100 subs, and then we hit 200 subs faster than we even hit 100 subs.
Right.
And
And
there
you're
was
you said you're at 260 something right now?
290.
So you're already almost at 300.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost at 300. The jump from 100 to 200 was significantly more.
Okay, what about from 2 to
But-
3? Because I didn't.
2 to 3, it's still been quick, but I had one video that hit, I think it was 40,000 views, bunch of likes, but out of those 40,000 views, I got 40 subscribers off that one video. And, I feel like that alone helped us make that big jump.
What number video was that you posted?
That was a while ago now.
But it obviously, I guess the trick question is that it wasn't the first one.
No, was not the first one. Right now, let's see. Yeah, definitely not the first one. And like, I can look back. Let's see. Okay, 46,000. It's got 1.7 thousand likes, 61 comments, 40 gained subscribers. Gotta go back to it. It lost its place. Okay, so I would say, in terms of using Descript, because that's the one thing that kind of helped, I would say, let's see. 1,
Here,
2,
block
3,
my
4,
camera
5,
real
6,
quick.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 42 videos till it was like 42, not overall, 42 of the videos once I figured out what
40
works.
42 pieces of content.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not overall. Overall, there's been a lot more than that. But it was the first of, the first batch, I would say, of like the new content style or the new clip format.
I mean, are you at 100 yet?
100 what videos?
Pieces of content?
Oh yeah, it's like 200.
Wait, so that was the first 40 you said?
Well, no. So what I said was at that 46,000 one, you go back 40 pieces of content. That's when I first started using Descript, aka like also working here. So it still took me time to get that, and that's still the most viewed video, I want to say, across all of our platforms.
Really?
Yeah. TikTok, I think the highest is like 25. Instagram, the highest is 10,000.
I'm trying to figure out how to say it exactly. I actually like this setup a lot.
Yeah,
Like, I think it looks great.
it does.
And I was just realizing, since we're doing this live, like if we do end up having pretty good conversations or podcasts and we just leave them up, we can now use the clip feature,
Uh-huh.
and we can get the video and make actual shorts out of it too.
I'm recording too, just
Yeah.
in case. I'm not recording audio though. Tisk tisk. There's audio in it though, but
Okay.
I'm trying to see these. Yeah, the biggest one we have is 28,000.
28,000 views.
Yeah, 28,000 views on TikTok. That's the biggest one. TikTok again. I mean, there's been a lot of posting on there for a lot of time. I mean, the first, honestly, like, I remember like a year or so ago, I was listening to this podcast. Actually, it's called Grow the Show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But
Sounds
basically,
familiar.
yeah, it's this guy who tells, people how to grow your show. It's in the name, but it's like how to monetize a podcast, or I was just trying to figure out that realm, and I was just learning for the most part. And I remember he had said, try for 1 month. Like burnout is tough, and you do something for so long and you just like get sick of it. But
Yeah.
this guy said, he was like, take 1 month and do your commit 110% to your podcast for 1 month. See what happens. See what kind of growth happens. And he's like, I guarantee you it will help you like keep pushing forward, because if you just half-ass it for the most of the time, it's like a slow burnout. But if you show yourself what that 1 month of posting looks like, then, or just not even posting, just 1 month of like pure dedication
Of actually trying to make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of trying to make it happen and just pretend like this is your full-time job type thing, where you're dedicating all your time to it. And I took that and I was like, all right, well, let's do it. We have enough content that I can make clips every day, or at least enough recording stuff, and I can do that. So I set out and I was like, I want to post once a day for at least a month. I think I missed a couple Sundays here and there, but I didn't really see much growth happen. Like, yeah, we got some good views and stuff, but nothing was over 400 or 500 views, and it was kind of defeating.
Yeah.
But it's also, I mean, it's a mix of things, right? Like you can't just put out bad pieces of content and expect it to go viral. Everyone thinks that it's so easy to just do it, but there's a level of research you have to do, or at least just some sort of knowledge, even if you're sharing it with other people or learning from other people. That's a big one.
Well, well, I would also say and add that like something that I've seen you ask questions about or learn about or understand better is the aspect of, which is a very popular topic for a lot of business people and everybody just in general, which is marketing. But understanding messaging in purposeful and intentional kind of, not specifically clip structuring, but just the way that a story or a message needs to be portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Why you shorten things, why the attention spans of people are the way that they are. I know that you and I have had multiple conversations about visual components of clips and how retention rates and stuff like that,
Yep.
and actual view time. And all of that comes down to having a deeper understanding of people and just how stories and people listen to things or they like things just in general. Which one thing that I remember you and I've talked about as well is having critical thinking skills or coming to conclusions of things based off of the knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
And when you learn enough things and when you experience enough things and you post enough clips and you have an understanding or at least a library of things to pick and pull from, it gives you more information to then have a better understanding and not so defeating approach to when it comes to learning a new subject or topic or trying a new strategy when it comes to posting content.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you always thought it just worked because this is how it was supposed to work, every time you would try something new and it didn't work the first time, you would just give up. You know what I mean?
No, totally. Yeah, you gotta. That's a good point, because you definitely have to keep at it. You know, it's pretty easy to want to give up after the first couple flop. I just don't really have much success. I feel like I kind of got lucky within the first wave of TikTok where I was kind of able to at least understand like what the power of this stuff does and like how quick you can get out to other people. You know, before, man, like I feel like there was a lot of like, I guess, hold on. There was a lot of just trying to, like, social media was so hard to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think it's so much easier. But what comes with that is that there's so many people doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot easier, but it's not
A
at
lot
the
more
same time.
saturated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you got to stand out in a sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think part of you does have to do what works, find what works for people, but you also got to, like, it's just the quality. There's attention to detail stuff with clips too, especially for, you know, essentially you're making content for TikTok and Instagram and
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts. And those people that are on there, myself included, like, think about it as a consumer. When you're consuming content, like, I don't know, think about what actually draws you into a video, what wants you to keep watching. First thing is that you're actually interested in the topic.
Yeah.
You know, if I come across if I were to come across a Dungeons and Dragons TikTok, I would swipe within a millisecond.
You'd be like, whoop.
Yep.
Yeah.
But luckily with TikTok, it knows that I'm not into that, and they're not going to show me that stuff. So you kind of have that on your side, that you're getting in front of the right people to begin with.
Right.
But the next part is just, you know, hooking them in and making sure it's something that people actually want to hear. We had one actually clipped the other day, which is hilarious. And, you know, there was, let me find it. It was about Colorado. So in the college hockey world, Denver University just won the national championship the other day, last weekend. And on our podcast, we were talking about whether or not Colorado is a hockey state. You know, like, it's a kind of big debate in the hockey world, just like,
Yeah.
you know, and I think with all the other sports, they do the same thing. And we were talking about Colorado, whether it's a hockey state or not. And we were saying that it's the biggest on the west side of the country. And we kind of messed up literally just by saying West Coast. And, you know,
Instead of a west side.
yeah, all the geologists out there were like, they're not West Coast, there's no ocean near them, blah, blah, blah. And then people just like they just didn't, it was good that they were arguing, because that video it's got like 5,000 views or something right now.
Yeah.
And it was posted yesterday. So people are like sparking up conversations in the comment section. They're like, oh, this video, like,
No such thing as bad publicity.
exactly. And they were like, no, Minnesota, like, Minnesota's the biggest hockey state. And I literally had to pin a comment just saying, like, okay, for all you geologists out there, I know that Colorado is not on the West Coast, but it's the west side of the United States, and that's what we're talking about. Anytime I see a Minnesota or Michigan is the state of hockey, blah, 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 I literally just comment, I'm like, look at the pinned comment, please. I'm tired of writing out. We're not talking all of the U.S. We're talking about the west side of the United States.
They're like, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, like, there's a point where, you know, you just kind of let it be. You don't want to, you know, respond to every comment where people are shitting on you. But there's times where I was just getting frustrated, and I'm like, clearly you don't listen at all. Like,
Clearly don't know how to read.
yeah, that too.
Or you didn't.
You know, and
You don't want to.
the other thing is the hook was a little, not misleading, but I think let me find it. The hook said, is Colorado a hockey state? So, I mean, we're not saying, we're just asking the question. It's not saying that it's not the hockey, like, yes, the hockey state in the United States is Minnesota, no doubt. But that's not what we're saying.
There's nothing wrong with your caption.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah.
like people not understanding and just things like that. But at the end of the day, all those people not understanding and watching the video or commenting on the video, reading the comments, already, like, just help that video out. So,
Well, yeah, there is an aspect to that whole story or kind of example you just gave, which is that humans are still just as humans as they are in person as they are on the internet.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like you see a crazy person walking down the street or somebody just being erratic, it gets everyone's attention, right? If it's out of the norm, or if it's not what's suggested or is recommended or normal or considered normal in society, it gets attention because it is not part of our everyday. And that can be as extreme as a person and as little as a typo or as a misinformation because you said something wrong, which in your guys' case, like, yeah, you misspoke and everybody's like, oh, he said, but you said this. And it's like, yeah, I know I said that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, I didn't mean to, or I apologize. I recognize that. But that can also, I feel like understanding that can help you be a better content creator and kind of move forward with your posting, knowing that people are just going to be the way they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Totally.
there's no reason to think that humans are going to act any differently on the internet than they are going to be in person. If you were to do something just as silly.
Yeah.
If you were to give a speech and, you introduce somebody else as another person in public, yeah, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's not him, or something like that. Like, I just saw a video recently of a girl interviewing Dana White, and she called him Joe Rogan. And for like a whole good, I'm pretty sure it was obviously a 30-second clip, but I'm pretty sure he went on for like a good 5-10 minutes about how he could just not get over the fact that she thought he was Joe Rogan. He was like, I just fucking flew out here for, excuse my language, he was like, I just flew out here for this. I was doing a 6-hour meeting. I was doing a meeting here, 6 hours here, and all just for you to think of somebody else. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And she got eaten up by him, and everybody online too. They're like, oh, I get him confused as well, and they were kind of relating with her, but at the same time, that's a good example of like, I get in my own way when I overthink, and when I'm being a perfectionist, because at the end of the day, people are still gonna point out your flaws.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're still gonna find something, and honestly, me saying this right now and talking about it with you is actually helping me kind of come over the fact that us doing this live stream is one of those things where it's like, we just do them.
Yeah.
Because whether I look weird or you look weird or you sound dumb or you sound bad because Mike, I don't know, there's always going to be something wrong anyways.
Yeah. No, every time, everyone's always got their opinion, and the internet, for good or for worse, has given people the opportunity to share their opinion.
Yeah.
And whether they disagree with you, some people are just born haters. And I think
that's why they say haters gonna hate.
Yeah, exactly. And they just, like, I don't know what it is. I think it's just a mindset thing. You know, and this is like, I feel like sports is a very big place for haters and non-haters, and you know, that's everywhere in the
somebody's
world.
Watching us. Who's watching us?
Yeah, let us know. Like,
what is it? It's probably my sister.
It could be my mom too. I think she followed us.
Hello, mother. Somebody's watching.
But
speak up.
Keep
going.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So like, sports has a bunch of, you know.
No, they left.
lovers or haters, but I don't know. To me, it's like, I feel like
it was Victoria. Hey, it's Victoria.
Oh,
okay, keep going.
That's funny. Juan Leon says, "I'm not your mom."
Oh, now it's Juan. We had 3. Oh no, back to 1.
Ah.
Victoria says, "What's up from the chat?" What's up, Tori?
What's up, Tori?
We're just talking about life stories here, and Sean's here talking about how he was abandoned as a child.
Yeah.
Finish your story.
Yeah, we're focus on the chat. Sports. Yeah, people. There's a lot of haters out there that, you know, either just love it, or like, you either are like a person that just hates on everything and everyone that a player does, or you're just someone that just appreciates what it is. And you know, I've got room in my heart for a little bit of hate for certain people and certain teams, but overall, like, I don't know, I've tried to take the approach more of, you know, witnessing what these people do on the grand stage of, you know, in front of a bunch of people, and they're the best at what they do. And I don't know, it's hard to really hate anyone that does that.
Yeah.
You know, some people, I guess, just have more room in their heart for that, but I don't.
They've made room for it.
Yes, made room.
Victoria says go Broncos.
Yes, go Broncos. It depends on which one's Boise
true,
State
that's true.
or Denver. That's a different story.
Going to play pickleball, 6:30. I'll be there. Yeah, and this whole idea behind like, I don't know, overthinking the creation process of a new project or a podcast or whatever it may be, it obviously stems from actual like, I don't know, psychology, human characteristics, and things that we struggle with in general.
Yeah.
So it's not anything new,
Mm-hmm.
but we make it seem like a new challenge because it's a new medium or a new area that we're dealing it with.
Yeah.
With it within, I guess.
Yeah.
That being said, if you can't overcome those things or like work on fear or the fear of the unknown and uncertainty and worried about what everybody else says, regardless of like whether you're a content creator or not, it's going to be a long journey ahead because that's something that has to be developed even before you enter the industry, I feel like, because you'll get eaten up alive.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What?
Sorry, one of my video it was so the podcast I posted, we've been doing pretty good on views on YouTube for our podcast, the hockey one in specific, but posted 2 days ago and it was at like 27 views this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they average around like 30, 40.
Yeah.
This one, oh my God, this one now has 77 views on this video. So it jumped up, what, 30 views in the last day? Last, however long I've been here, 12 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours?
6 hours.
6 hours. Damn. That's crazy.
I mean, let me take a peek real quick for that. When did you post it?
2 days ago. On Monday it came out. 77.
Yeah, it's really funny how all these things work because on that new clips page, I posted one clip. The second clip got more views than the first one,
Yeah.
and the third one got less than all of them,
Damn.
which is completely backwards.
Yeah.
So,
Instagram is weird.
yeah, Instagram is really, really heavy with traffic and people posting already. So I'm just gonna use that page as kind of just a, what do you call it? An experiment.
Yeah, it's also a portfolio too.
Yeah, great to add content to, and to use it as another place to share other people's stuff and
Yeah.
go all about that. But is Ryan here yet?
I've not heard him unless he's waiting because he heard me talking, which I don't think he would.
Take a peek out there.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys do end up listening, anybody that is listening, or if you guys are watching, or Victoria or Juan that was just kind of joining in for the fun, we'll leave this posted hopefully, or we'll see how it turns out. And then
Yeah.
Sean, he just came back, but we'll go ahead and we'll try to see if we get any clips out of it, we'll make some. If not, then we won't. Like, we won't worry about it.
Yeah.
But we can at least start using this page. And frankly, we can post and do a bunch of stuff on here, probably without any regards to any rules. And if we really struggle with growth, we can just go start a new YouTube channel.
Yeah, that too.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But is he here yet or no?
No, he's not here. But yeah, I can end it. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. If you're still here,
Sweet.
if not, then fuck you.
Out.